Hey guys, LechK here. Another part of the sauna build. We got a stove all set up, back wall is all installed, and now we can start installing the chimney. So this video I will show you guys how to do the whole piping setup through the ceiling to the stove and out the roof to the chimney pipe. Let me show you guys what you need and let's get started. So here's basically the full setup of what you're gonna need to install the chimney on your stove. First, we got to connect to the stove, so this is the part you need. I'm going to list all these part numbers in the description below for you guys. I got it all from Home Depot. This is the most affordable way I found to doing it safely and efficiently. So this is a regular adapter. I'm using the one without the damper. It's really not necessary for sauna build. We used it in my buddy Roman's sauna build with the damper, and it's really pointless piece because we're never closing it in a sauna. Then we have single wall piping. This is the one that's going to run from the stove to the ceiling box, which I'll show you next. This is the one that you can extend because we need it a little longer. And this is single wall, so it's going to give us more heat for the sauna, but it won't be safe to the touch. So you got to keep your distances all that from the walls, follow the directions from the manufacturer. And you can use double wall if you want to spend extra money. That's fine too. Then you need the box, ceiling support box. That's basically where the pipe is connecting to make sure everything's safe so you don't burn down your ceiling and your sauna. And then we have the chimney pipe. This is the triple wall chimney pipe. This is the one that will go from the top of your roof into the box. Then we have the storm collar that will go around it. Basically this piece right there, which I'll show you guys in a minute. I'll open everything up. And then we got the chimney cover. Make sure no rain on animals, birds get in there. So let me open everything up and show you what it all looks like. Alrighty, here's everything unpacked. Adapter to the stove. Nice heavy duty build. As mentioned, no damper in this one. Exhaust flow is marked so you know exactly how to install it. We got our extension pipes. These two will go into each other, which I'll show you guys when we start assembly. We'll do a test fit actually first of everything, make sure everything lines up. That's just a decorative ring for it if you need it. Here's the box, decorative covers for the box. It did come with the screws, so that these pipes, as you see, it's all insulated inside. The chimney will go on top of your roof in here. We'll cut this back to size as needed. The stove from the pipe from the stove will go in here. Here's the chimney, triple wall, heavy duty stainless steel. Probably the most expensive piece out of this whole setup. It's also marked which way it's going. The storm collar that will go around your chimney pipe and cover the flashing. And then this will go on top of your chimney to close everything up. And we'll be all set. Flashing is something I didn't show you guys in the first clip, but this will go on top of the roof, covers the box opening, and then the chimney goes through it. Make sure everything's nice and secure and waterproof. Also, if you have a tall chimney or a really angled roof, you can use support rods. They're not expensive to hold it in place, but I think I'll be fine with my setup without it. So now let's test fit, and then we can start the install. So let's give it a little test run. First, we're gonna put our ring that's gonna connect to the box on the top pipe. Now I'm gonna slide these two together. Once you have the adjusted height, they give you the screws to screw it in. This one's going to the adapter ring. That fits. Now we're going to the box. That works. So that will work. So change the fits. fit, but it goes in, so that's a good sign. So then this will be sticking out of your roof. We'll pop this on. Like that. Storm collar. There we go, looks like everything's gonna fit. Let's begin the install. So we got a stove, we got our inside parts. I'm gonna put the adapter right in here. Our extension piping will go on top of it. Then we have to measure out where to drill the hole. Then I'm gonna have to cut my rafter out of the way here, so relocate that. And then we're gonna make the cutout for the box. Once we have the box for the ceiling, we connect this part, and then we just install the chimney dirt on the top. So this adapter will be a little snug over here. This perforated, crimped edge is going inside, the bigger opening is going on top. So it's a snug fit, so I have to bend the beginning a little bit, and then I'm gonna just tap it in with a wood block. Put your crimped edge here to the wall so you don't see it. Alrighty, that's pretty snug. Now we can pop in our extension pipe. So I'm going to connect these two. That's exactly what we got to cut. Still gonna grab a level. Make sure I'm all leveled out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take this rafter out. So I'm gonna get the rafter out, mark where I need to put my hole, and then we can cut out the space for the box. Here's a close-up. Alrighty, I got the rafter out of the way now. Now I can line up my pipe, level it, and measure exactly where the center is so I can make the cutout for the square box. So I have my center measured out. Now I'm just gonna drill a hole and go to the roof and cut out my square. It's a 14-inch box, so we're gonna cut out a 14, maybe 14.25-inch opening, and then we can install it. I actually ended up measuring just 7 inches each direction, and just did some extra holes just to make my measuring up top that much easier. And the box will be almost flush against the wall, which makes my life a lot easier here. I'm not gonna have to put any wood between it. Holes. Just measure out and cut. Boys, you can measure this out. You know, grab your tape measure, find the center, measure everything out, make sure it's even from the walls. You can also put the box and trace around it. Go a little bit bigger just in case. And yeah, that's it. I'll get it measured, now it's cut. Alrighty, let's do a quick test fit, make sure this fits. We are good. So now we want to level inside. So it's going to be a slight angle. We'll make sure it's level, and then we'll trace it, and we'll cut up the excess we don't need. And I also have to build up some extra support here, so I'm going to add some 2x4 beams all around here to get something to connect to. Added the support walls. And now we can temporarily mount it and mark it so we can cut off the excess. And here's a view from the inside. It's going to be low enough to clear the extra walls I still got to put up. And it looks good. Got it all leveled out. Now we just got to cut off the excess. So it's a lot easier doing this when you're two people, but I basically mounted the one side with 2 screws as I'm doing it alone. And that let me level this side out. Now I can just mark it with pencil and cut off that excess. Since it's a shorter box, I kept it flush. How to even cut off the excess. If you had the longer box, you probably have to cut a lot more. But let me get it out now, cut it down, and we can install. Alrighty, so before I install the box, I want to get my flashing set up as well, because the top portion, top half of it has to go under these tiles. The rest will sit over the top. So I'm going to have to cut some of these tiles off here to make sure this fits. I'm just going to put this even over our box hole and trace out what I need to cut off. I want it to be just center, which I'm looking at my cuts. I'll show you guys a close up in a second. This is what I mean. I'm gonna have to cut off that excess right there so I can slide this under the shingles. Now you want to grab a pry bar and get all the nails loose here, because we gotta get up in there. And we gotta get up in there at least 6 inches. So I'm gonna get under here, just lift up any possible nails. Probably the sides here as well. Alright, so once you have all the nails out, you should have enough space now to do a quick test fit. I'm just going to slide this right on there. Cut the round edges here. I trim them up a little more, but it looks like we are centered, so we will be able to take this out, secure it down, cement it, all that, and we'll be all set. I just want to trim some of these edges off here. That's what it's going to look like. The bottom stays open. There you go. Alrighty, we can move now with install of the box. So we're cut. Let's double check again. We're nice and flush. Perfect. Before you actually secure the flash in, before you put the chimney in, just do a test fit, because now I noticed I had to move it up a little higher than it was, so I didn't have it perfectly centered. So now I'm going to outline this and just cut my cutouts as much as needed in the shingles to make sure everything fits properly, and then we can install it. Basically, the reason I had to misalign is because of the slight angle of the roof. So as you see, I still have to cut another inch in as well, these ends, and then we'll be good to go. Another quick test fit. Now it fits well, so now we can begin the official install. Alrighty, now we can do the actual install. So I'm using a FlashMate for my cement. I'm gonna run a nice generous bead all around. Slide this on. Watch out the roofing paper if you have it. That sometimes can get jammed in there. Get under it. I'll just get it out of the way. There we go. Do a quick test fit. The chimney. Okay. had a little extra piece here because I had exposed, so I'm gonna glue that on as well in a second. Then we'll nail this section down and so on. Let me show you guys a close-up. That's basically it. I'm gonna cover all this with the flash and cement as well. Roof tar, whatever you got. That's that. Alrighty, now we can seal it all up. And don't be afraid to be generous. You want to make sure you have no water leaks. Any of the tiles that are lifting up a lot, just put some flashing on there as well, especially these over here. I already put some under here, but I'm gonna put a, oh, okay, I don't need to, it's already basically glued itself down. Few nails, about ½ an inch from the side. And now just cover up the nails with the flashing as well. Alrighty guys, flashing complete. That's the complete install of that part. Everything's sealed up nicely. Now we can pop our chimney in. Just make sure you, when you're popping it in, I actually marked little marks on it, flush with the edge here when it's not slid on, so I know it's going on. It has to slide on about 1.5 inches or so over that lip to make sure it's locked in. So that will help me tell if I squeezed it in all the way. So let's pop this guy on now. Not moving, it must be locked in. I did drop a couple inches down, so we are all good. Now, next is the storm collar. We're just gonna trim it to size. It's gonna be the smallest tab. This is made for the 6-inch pipe. 6 inch meaning the inside diameter is 6 inches. The outside is probably more like a 10 or so. I'm going to trim out the excess of our shear cutters. Yes, I do. Just in case I'm going to throw my gloves on, I don't want to get cut by this stuff. Basically is going to go right over this opening. Some of these flashings are flush with the pipe. The one I did with Roman sauna with him, we had flush one kind of angle. This one is straight and it has these grooves. I guess it's for more ventilation, but this will prevent any water from getting in there. Just pop this on like this. Shove this tab from the inside in. There we go. And once you have it all the way in, pull the tab back. And now that's locked in place. Make sure it's just snug all the way. And now we're going to put flashing all around to seal it off. A little messy, but I had access, so why not use it? A little close up, peek inside. There is a little wobble, you know, this is not mounted to the roof, just sitting in there, snapped in. But if you have a really tall chimney to clear, like because the chimney has to be taller than the highest point of your roof, which case I'm plenty fine. But some higher slope roofs, you know, you might have to have a few feet sticking out. So you should install those support brackets on it to make sure it's secure. But now let's just get the cap on and we're done. Be careful with these edges are super sharp. Just sliced my thumb with it when I was trying to clean it. So yeah. But this just snaps in. So you should screw in right there. So just line it up. That's it. This is not going anywhere. Pretty cool. Pretty serious. Alrighty, so that's it. The chimney's all done now. Now we can move inside and finish the piping going up to the box. But this is solid, this isn't going anywhere anymore. Alrighty, now back to the inside. So get your sleeve back on the upper pipe. Remember, this is going up top. And you're gonna be squeezing it into this little gap in here. Has to go in about an inch, so you might have to bend these around to get them in. Here is our chimney pipe, looks good. So let's get this in. We're gonna start from the top, then work our way to the bottom. Alrighty, we're gonna keep our seams to the back and do the top first, then do the bottom. Top is the harder part. If you have help, it will definitely be easier. Alrighty, I taped the two together so they don't move, because I need to be able to put the pressure from the bottom to get it in there, because I just can't do it otherwise. I've been trying for about 15 minutes now. So we'll give this a go. secure it. One-eighth inch drill bit. Screws are self-tapping, but this will make it easier. We won't damage anything. Here's a close-up. 4 screws. It's secure. Now we'll pop this into place. Secure this with some screws on the bottom. So make sure this is all the way in here. Now we can screw these in. See if the self-tapping function works. Perfect. For the bottom, I'm just going to drill a couple holes. That's that. Bottom technically is fine, but I'm going to put a couple anyway. And there we go, guys. Chimney installed. So the only thing left to do is now to do a little touching up on all the paint damage we did. From sliding it open, installing it and so on. And same with the stove, working around it. So this is what I'm going to use. This is the stuff that works. It's good up to 1200 degrees, which is more than enough. Here's the final outcome after painted. Now I'm just gonna run the stove for a couple hours, break in the new paint, season it, whatever you call it. And then we can work on finishing the installation and get to doing the boards finally. So once your stove is all installed, we want to break it in. You want to burn off that excess paint. Let all those fumes burn off before you actually start using it. So that's what we're doing. First test. And as you guys can see, all these fumes are coming off the chimney. Kind of smells like paint. That all has to burn off. So we're gonna let this for a couple hours. I'm also checking for any leaks and stuff like that right now. But I think everything's looking good. And Like I mentioned about this stove before, it's the dual feed. So we got the inside feed, and then we also have the outside feed, which I'll show you guys now. And here's our outside feed window. I'll just be outside, just throw some wood right from this side. Perfect. Chimney's working perfect, look at that. And there we go. Everything's working as it should. Let this run for a couple hours, let it break in, and everything should be good to go. I'm also gonna check the temperature all around, make sure nothing gets too hot, but I think we'll be just fine. So far everything's burning very nicely, no issues, and everything's holding up well. And the inside is looking good as well. I don't see any leaks, no more smoke from the paint burning off. Just breaking in nicely. I'm still gonna let this run for at least an hour or so. We'll let the wood burn out, and we should be good. The tiles, not that hot over here at all near the pipe. The only hot spots are really here, that's directly behind it. Can't really put your hand on it too long. Behind it, not hot. Glass, fine to the touch. And same here, right directly next to the chimney's pretty hot. But that should hold up really fine. Only time will tell. But so far I'm not seeing any issues. And that's really it for the stove install, chimney install setup, guys. Check out the other videos on this build. Check out more videos on the stove coming soon. Appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe, follow, and come back for more.